If you've ever tried on leggings where the moment you start to pick up a good workout, sweat stains start to show left and right, you might be wondering to yourself, these are bad quality leggings, and more likely than not, you're not going to want to pick up another pair the next time that you're shopping. If you're a brand, this probably horrifies you. What fabric am I picking that ultimately showcases sweat stains more than the rest? This is the biggest no-no when customers are deciding on what type of legging to purchase. If they see rules or reviews of people that are claiming that sweat stains are abundant with your specific product, they're going to shy away from it. So on today's episode, I'm going to break down exactly why specific fabrics showcase sweat more than others, specific fits, and how they work when it comes to sweat, and ultimately what you can do as a sportswear brand to eliminate and to minimize sweat stains across your products, so that way your customers can come back feeling confident about their selection. So without further ado, my name is Shadi. I'm the co-founder and creative director of FittDesign, and we have literally helped thousands of brands over the last 10 years launch their own activewear brands. So I've learned a thing or two about what it takes to drastically reduce the effect of sweat stains, because I've been designing leggings for the better part of a decade. So to set the frame, we have to understand the three main properties or characteristics of fabric that affect the way that sweat showcases on the surface. Number one is sweat visibility is affected by how fast the fabric absorbs and wicks away moisture. Two, it's how fast the fabric spreads moisture across the surface. And ultimately, number three is going to come down to how the color of that specific fabric changes when it is wet. So ultimately, your goal is not to completely eliminate sweat. This is almost impossible, but your goal is to minimize the effect and the impact that sweat stains will have on your fabric, and to minimize the illusion of sweat on the surface. So in order to understand why this is, we have to understand the different levers that we can pull against to reduce sweat stains. Number one is, why does this sweat actually appear, or why does it visually showcase on the surface of the fabric? Well, we have to understand that when a fiber is moist, it comes down to the way that the fabric reflects light. And when fabric is wet, it reflects light differently than when it is dry. Ultimately, this difference in reflection of light is what creates these zones of light and dark shadows on the surface of the fabric, which outlines the clear position of where the sweat is. If you've ever gotten a t-shirt wet, you'll understand that the areas that are wet ultimately appear darker than those that are not. This is simply due to the difference in light reflectivity. Number two comes down to fiber choices, and this is a great lever to pull. The fiber choice of polyester is great because it's a plastic-based fabric or fiber, and it does a very good job at wicking sweat away. It doesn't hold moisture in, which can be great for drying, but it can also potentially create visible zones of sweat if the fabric itself doesn't evaporate that moisture over time. Because it holds the moisture within the pockets between the fibers, that's what ultimately ends up creating those dark spots. Two, you have nylon. Nylon can typically be more premium and smooth than its polyester counterpart, and it can handle fabric dyes beautifully, creating an even surface. But it's also that even surface that can sometimes further exaggerate the effect of sweat, because you end up with a higher contrast between the zones of darkness that have the sweat on it and the zones of lightness or neutrality that don't have any sweat at all. Third is going to be spandex. Spandex itself does also exacerbate the issue, since it does cling and it does highlight wet zones on the fabric given of its high plastic percentage. This is not necessarily bad, but when combined with a thin fabric and a compressive fit, it can spell disaster because of those different variables. So what should you do as a founder? Well, ultimately, there's no core rulebook. The same fibers will respond differently in different situations, depending on the color, depending on the yarn density, the yarn thickness that are being used, where they're being used, the actual garment compression type. So you need to test out a swatch of that specific fabric, and you need to be able to look at it in the real world. As a rule of thumb, you want to avoid going for a thin fabric that is extremely compressive with a high percentage of spandex, and ultimately this is where with a fabric color that is very, very light. All of those aspects combined is what creates a higher propensity of that sweat to showcase and to create sharper and more visible lines. Part 3 ultimately comes down to that fabric construction is what dictates how sweat appears on the surface, and we'll go through a couple of different traits in construction that you want to look for. Ultimately, if you have more texture on the face of the fabric, it's going to do a better job at wicking or showcasing less sweat. Simply because there are more irregularities in the fabric, you get to see less and less of the difference between the wet zones and the dark and the dry zones, which ultimately just takes your eye away from being able to clearly articulate where the sweat stains are. Number 2 is that denser knits will hide sweat better because they have less pockets of openness between the different rows of knits, which means that less moisture is held and more moisture is evaporated, which leads to less sweat buildup, which leads to less of that sweat intensity and the difference between dry and wet zones. Number 3 is that double knits or interlock knits, again, given their higher density of yarns per square inch or yarns per square centimeter, ultimately create better fabrics that wick and that showcase less sweat stains because of that increased density. You just have fewer pockets that moisture can seep into and can hold between the different fibers. Number 4 is peached fabrics. Again, it comes back to the irregularity of the surface. When we peach the surface of fabric, we brush it lightly, agitating the fibers, and those agitated fibers create small grooves on the surface of the fabric that create that matte appearance that removes the shininess, and ultimately, because of that increased texture, you're able to see a lot less of that contrast of wet and dry zones because of how the light is reflecting. Another thing to note is that thin fabrics ultimately visually saturate visually much faster because they have less depth to them and they're going to get saturated with moisture more, which means that they show sweat earlier. And then ultimately with high compression, because of the moisture and how it sits on your skin, that flatness that is created by the moisture being pressed up against your skin, again, saturates the area of the fabric a lot, which creates that visual saturation and the intensity of wet to dry zones that creates that issue of sweat stains. Moving on, we have the color strategy and understanding which colors will showcase sweat more readily. And the real reason that specific shades show sweat more than others comes down to what is known as how the light reflects off of the surface of the fabric. Colors that usually show sweat the most will come as no surprise to most of you guys. It'll be things like light gray and mid gray. This is why we tend to avoid those types of colors on leggings. You have certain midtones of blues can also showcase sweat very readily. You ultimately have sage, light green or light olive, pastels in general, and any colors in general that have a very flat and uniform surface that has no texture, which is why specific types of single jersey peach fabrics tend to perform very poorly with hiding sweat stains. So why is this ultimately? Well, these colors have a big visible shift when they are wet versus when they are dry, which is what creates that zone of intense color and shade change rather than more subtle and nuanced change, which is what creates those sharp edges, which is what is assigned and aligned with sweat stains. So some colors that usually hide your sweat stains much better are going to be colors that are very deep and dark and saturated. So colors like deep navy, deep olive, deep burgundy, black, a dark gray, those colors are great. Heathered or marled colors, again, because of the visual texture on the surface of the fabric, that also helps to hide sweat away visually, right? Because of the different speckling in of those different fiber types. Speckled or textured or patterned fibers or surfaces are also great. So something that has a sublimation print, an embossed print, anything with large all over prints that distract your eyes, and ultimately saturated tones that are very vibrant but not bright in color. So some important nuances to bear in mind is that black, even though it is a dark and rich color, it can actually showcase salt lines and deodorant lines, so anything that is white in nature or bright in nature very readily. So although something like sweat is less easy to show, your body doesn't only eliminate or remove moisture from the body, it also removes salts and electrolytes from the body, which is ultimately what can end up on the surface of the fabric in white, which can make that clear contrast of sweat. Or if you're wearing deodorant, it's important, and that's why you tend to see deodorants specifically for black garments or transparent deodorants to avoid those clear marks. So ultimately, the best trick for sweat visibility has to be marled fabrics. That's why you tend to see leggings, specifically seamless leggings, they tend to perform really well in subtle marled textures because it just gives users that peace of mind. They don't know what's happening, but they are ultimately getting a reduction in that sweat intensity because of the marl texture that's hiding these sweat differences between the dark and the moist zones without noticing. So last but not least, you might say, Shadi, I want to design great quality products and I want to use light colors, but I want to avoid the sweat stains. What are my options? Well, the good news is that there are a bunch of different workarounds that we can do if we get creative. Number one is we need to put texture where it matters ultimately. If we have the opportunity to bring in a marl texture, then that's great. That's what I mentioned with seamless leggings, where the type of knitting, circular knitting and dyeing processes allow us for marled fabrics very readily. Number two comes down to adding texture in specific areas where you can. 2XU, which is a very well-known compression garment company that uses polyester and nylon with high spandex percentage, actually on the underarms and on the center back, which are high sweat zones, they use a fabric that has a jacquard knit that is textured and really helps to eliminate those sweat stains. And I know this firsthand. These are products that we tend to look at and evaluate when designing similar garments, and that jacquard knit visually distorts the edges of the actual fabric and helps to eliminate any buildup of sharp sweat stains. Next up, you have double layering. Double layering can be a great option, especially in places where it's needed. That's why you tend to see on some compression garments double layering, and some leggings, especially with gusseted garments, you tend to see a double layering of the gusset in order to absorb and wick away moisture much better than a single layered garment. Last but not least is going to be your finish selection. So some fabrics, like we mentioned, will spread moisture in ways that look way less patchy because it's going to be more consistent. The patchiness of the moisture dictates how sharp the edge of the wet to dark zones look like. So the idea is picking a fabric in which those differences are much softer. And in general, those tend to be peach fabrics and fabrics which have a little bit more thickness to them that tend to allow the moisture to dissipate throughout the surface of the fabric in a much more organized and a much more neutral way. So if you guys are struggling with your next compression collection or activewear collection, and you want our help as a team to help you develop quality garments that are not going to show sweat stains or are going to minimize them, and you want to be able to launch confidently, you can check the link in the description to apply to work with us one-on-one, and we'll get back to you within 12 hours guaranteed with a clear plan of action. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It helps us out, keeps us motivated to keep pumping out this content for you. And I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fit Design TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.